Hey everyone, have a here, bro. Video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our full breakdown and some fun little team builds for the LR Tien. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So of course, we're going to start off with the card arts. And pretty solid card arts. No issues here at all in terms of the SSR or TUR. The SSR has that white outline for LR SSRs. And then, of course, the TUR is an action pose with the Dodon Ray. No problem, no issues. Now, I do have, in terms of the LR, this looks funny to me. I don't know, it just doesn't catch my eye. Some of you guys may like this, with the ready set spike in the background, the volleyball in the front, but it kind of looks CGI-ish. I don't know. That may be just me. I feel like the art here could be more like a little bit more OG looking. Again, just not catching my eye. I think like a 6 out of 10 in terms of the card art. But let's look at the unit of itself, which is definitely not 6 out of 10. Probably very, very high up there. But let's look at the initial HP attack and defense stats. What we're looking for in LRs is these types of stats here: 22,000 in HP, over 20,000 in attack, and 14,469 for defense. Very solid. No problems at the stats there. Now let's look at the rest of the unit here. Looking at the leader skill, of course, currently right now we're at the yellow coin LRs that have a 200% lead with 2 categories. So it's Final Trump Card, which is a very, very, very good category, and then Earthlings, which isn't all that great. So a mix of those, actually, you can build a really, really strong team. We'll talk about that in a second, and it's going to be at 200%. So the 12 key super attack is the Dodon Ray. It raises attack for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemy, and lowers attack and defense. Whereas the Open Ball Fest, the Ready Set Spike, is greatly raises attack. That stacks there and causes mega colossal damage to enemy and lowers attack and defense. This is very important because by the time you're going to be doing the active skill, Tien's going to hit tremendously hard. So the more stacks you get out there, the harder he's going to hit in that active skill. So the passive here, you're going to have an interest animation, which is going to give you key +4 to 8 randomly for 10 turns. So that's going to help you out in terms of getting the 18 key super attack. Then your basic effects here is key +2 attack defense 250%. This is a little bit new. We've seen few units have the 250 basic. Generally, we've been seeing a lot of 200, but maybe from here on out, we're going to see more 250 to maybe even 300. And then all allies defense 30% for 2 turns. This is a really nice effect for Tien here. This makes this not only a great unit overall in terms of, and we're going to talk about, maybe a first or second position unit, but as a floater, as a support unit, for 2 turns on defense, definitely what type of unit that we're looking for, especially for a leader as well. This is where it gets very interesting here. Before receiving an attack within the turn, damage reduction rate of 75%. So before you receive an attack, you are not taking much damage there. But then after receiving an attack at the first position, you get defense 400%, damage mitigation of 30%. So before receiving an attack, and then after receiving an attack, you get dropped down to 30% here. And then key +3 attack 100%, defense up 200%, and then additional damage reduction for 20% for 3 turns. So you're going to get a 50%. You're going to drop from 75 to 50% there, which is fine, right? Especially with all this defense that you're going to be getting boosted here with the stats. And we're seeing more and more stat defensive mechanics versus just damage mitigation and guard, right? So, and then as a second attacker to the turn, you're going to get attack 100%, defense 200%, and attack effects against all types for 4 turns. And then so you do want to proc that once in a while, and then attack 400%, defense 200%, a great chance of evading enemy's attack when attacking. So you become a dodge unit versus a unit that you are dealing with damage mitigation as a first position tank. So you can run either one, which is great. It creates high flexibility for Tien. You can put him in second or third as a dodging unit or a tank unit in first position. And then you do have nullification here in key blast super attacks, high chance of nullifying and countering with tremendous power, and then guaranteed nullification and guaranteed counter with tremendous power when there's a Kamehameha category enemy. All right, so very strong overall kit. Again, very flexible. You're a support as well. I think they did a great job, but there is more. So you do have an active skill here. It doesn't, it doesn't seem like it's much, right? It just says cause ultimate damage to enemy. But again, with that 12 or that 18 key super attack, and then stacking the SA multiplier, and then you probably want to put them in second position, right? Second position or third position when doing the active skill here, and then you're just going to blast off. So active skill condition here can be activated when there's a turtle school or Kamehameha category enemy, or you wait till the 5th turn. So after the 5th turn, you should have a few stacks in, and you're going to be doing tremendous damage. It's a great active skill in terms of damage. Link skills, not all that great. There's a couple units that link fine, like Tao, Path of Power Kick Goku, Bulma, stuff like that. But ultimately, DB Saga and these types of units with Crane School, Infighter, Dodon Ray, Incredible Adventure, Guidance of Dragon Ball, Spheres Battle, Legendary Power, not all that universal. So categories you're on, I would like to see a few more categories, but I wouldn't really know where to fit them. But you have World Tournament, DB Saga, Bond of Master Disciple, Final Trump Card, Earthlings, Bond of Friendship, and Earthbred Fighters, and Tournament Participants. So those are your categories there. But now let's dive into team building here. All right, let's first start with, of course, running the Tien as the main leader here. Final Trump Card, Earthlings at 200%. And as you can see, pretty good team, right? So I did put Tien here in first position, and that's going to be fine. He should be tanking fairly well. However, I actually think that this team might work a little bit better because you're going to have basically the top, LRs on the team, all on the right rotation on there, and then of course that second turn where EZA 7-year anniversary LRs maybe a little bit susceptible. You're going to get that 30% boost, and if you're in the rotation a couple times, you might get those two turns and double it up and have an additional 30% on top of that. So yeah, very interesting team. Like, do I think this team already is in the top 10? Possibly. You're running at 200% with the 10-year anniversary and the EZA 7-year anniversary LRs. Tien supports. He does crazy amount of damage when you need him after 5 turns with that active skill there. You have different support units. You have some flexibility. Let's talk about flexibilities. Let's say you don't want to run or don't have the 10-year anniversary or the 7-year anniversary LRs. Then you can run something like this that's very goofy. Or in this case, you're not running the, this is crazy, right? Is not running the 10-year anniversary or the LR 7-year anniversary EZAs in main rotation. You're running DB Saga in their main rotation, right? You can run goofy stuff like that, but if you want to run more like DB Saga, it might look something like this, where you're going to have basically triple support, quadruple support along with the Tien. And generally you can move Tien from, again, the first or second position, depending on if you want to dodge or if you want to try to tank. It works out just fine. So again, if you have like a lot of attacks in that first position before getting attacked, or only one versus a lot, you might end up just wanting to go ahead and dodge and have like Tao take the damage there. But anyway, either one, again, just the flexibility is very, very strong. You can even run like an Earthlings team. I just did Tien as a floater here. Again, the flexibility is there with him as a floater with the defensive port for 2 turns. And then you can have maybe an extreme class team. So the extreme class team is very goofy. I was trying to figure out like where do I put certain units. You can run something like this, or you can say, all right, I'm gonna put full power Frieza out of here. I can put Vegeta here, maybe support here. I just don't know then where to put, like, I don't put Mai here. And I don't put, I guess I could put Buhan here. It's very kind of goofy, right? Because you want to run Frieza in first position, and Tao with blue is a better first position rotation. I guess you can maybe move one up here and then move, but you can't move something down here. Maybe like this is kind of goofy, right? That would be kind of goofy. Anyway, some flexibility, some options if you want to run the extreme class team. But if you want to run outside of TN being the leader, of course you are looking for Earthbred Fighters, Mission Execution with Mercenary Tao. This team is going to run fine. You run Tao along with the Tien, and he's going to do well, or you can run him with Path of Power Goku, right? With the damage mitigation, if you want to run him in first position, he's going to get 85% damage mitigation, right? Before getting attack, and then he's going to have 70% damage mitigation. Sorry, it's 8% or 7%. What does Goku Path of Power provide for you? Give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry, it's 8%. So it's not 85%, it's whatever 75 plus plus the 8% is, right? So 82%, 83%. Anyway, so this works out fairly well. Of course, you can run Tien just as a support unit with the 30% support there, and just keep those rotations as is and how you want to run the Mercenary Tao team. So again, I think the key word to Tien is flexibility, and much like any kind of yellow coin LR, a luxury unit of, being that he can be very flexible and just a very good option to have. Speaking of Path to Power Goku, you can run him on his team as well because it's the DB Saga. And he's also Bond of Friendship as well. So as a Bond of Friendship, is he Bond of Friendship? I gotta double check on that. I noticed something. Yeah, he is Bond of Friendship. So being that he's Bond of Friendship, he's running at 200% here as well. So yeah, the Path of Power Goku team is a very strong team. Addition to with Tien on here, again, you can run him also as a support unit as well. And yeah, a great utility. And the last team that I highlighted here was actually Bond of Master and Disciple with Gohan here. Being just a support unit, right? He's going to run it only at 170%, not at 200% here. Most of the other teams I showed you and showcased was going to be at 200% here. So anyway, those are kind of the fun little team builds that you can create with this new Tien. I think it's a very interesting unit. It is hopefully what's to come in terms of support, flexibility in first, second, or third position. These are the type of units that are very easy to use and nice to have. Again, a solid luxury unit. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.